And per the CDC, this is right from the CDC, Minnesota is rated 5th in the nation for life expectancy. And that's with our constitutional exemption in place, which has been in place, by the way, for 44 years. And this is actually specifically for Representative Freiberg. Numerous times I've seen you try to remove that exemption. So I'm just curious, if something's been around in Minnesota for 44 years, to me it seems radical to want to remove it, but that's just my opinion. And I'm just curious though, do you plan on proposing a bill that removes the subsection of Division 3D, which is the constitutional exemption from 125A-15, which I'm sure you're familiar with? Are you planning on removing that?
Thank you for the question. So I have authored legislation in the past to remove that exemption. I was working with Senator Chris Eaton, former Senator Chris Eaton, on those bills. So this year I've introduced, I don't know whether I will introduce that exact same bill yet or not. I haven't yet. There's another bill I've been working with child care providers on that I have introduced that relates to that same section of law. It says that it does give child care providers, many of which are private entities, the ability to adopt a policy about whether or not they admit children that are vaccinated or not.
To discriminate them? Discriminate against them?
I would say the current policy has a potential of adverse, I don't know, I wouldn't call it discrimination, but adversely affecting young children that are not able to get vaccinated. In the context of daycares, if you're under 6 months, and I should mention too, this isn't about COVID. There's nothing about the COVID vaccine in that section of statutes. It's mainly the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. But there are children who are under 6 months old who are not yet able to be vaccinated, and so they depend on as many other children as possible to get vaccinated to protect them against those diseases.
But if my child's not vaccinated and I try to take them to a daycare and they can't, so now your bill's going to allow them to discriminate against me and my family.
If they have that policy in place, they will be able to
discriminate.
Hit only children that have unless I should say too, there is a medical exemption. So this does nothing about the medical exemption. So if there is a child who's been injured or who is particularly sensitive to vaccines, this wouldn't change that in any way.